Okay, these are my on the way home thoughts of Dr. Sleep. I am driving, so I will not be looking at the camera. The very beginning definitely plays on what we know about The Shining. The rest of it doesn't really, and if I just had to judge the movie based on those two acts, as a standalone movie, I probably would have given it about an 8.5 out of 10. I really liked that. If they had replaced the Shining stuff in the beginning with whatever lore they wanted to create. But the fact that the third act totally plays on The Shining and what we know, and very subtly, Mike Flanagan he's good. He's really good. Because it isn't as if it was heavy-handed. They didn't smack you in the face. They used very subtle things that just triggered those memories. The chick that they got to play Wendy Torrance, holy shit. Shelley Duvall is a weird looking chick. My kid tells me I'm mean for saying that, but she's a very, very unique, very odd looking person. The woman did not look a whole lot like her, but they did things to her in her oh, Danny, her hyperactivity when she thinks that she's lost her kid. She played it perfectly, but there was one little part in the third act where you just see a flashback. So new Wendy is just in the bathtub, blue robe, 2 seconds, look of fear, and it triggers something in your brain. And it was really amazing how he didn't have to spell things out. You could tell he's a fan, and so he knows what little things are going to trigger your brain. But yeah, I think just with the acting and the story itself, the characters, it was super strong. But then you put in the whole Shining part of it, and yeah, man, then it's super awesome. I wish I'd watched The Shining right before. I don't know if that would have been better or worse. I felt like they didn't try to mimic it. There's the word right there. They tried to pay homage to it. They tried to make it definitely a continuation of the original Kubrick film without making it some sort of cutesy mimic. The only thing that I kind of was was the Jack Torrance cameo. Honestly, the guy that they got to do it, he had the good facial expressions for it, and the interaction between him and Danny were good, but I felt maybe they could have even done a voiceover with somebody who was a little more Nicholson. Again, Mike Flanagan's awesome. I'm not going to second guess his filmmaking. Did not know what to expect. I thought it was a little long. Of course, 2.5 hours, but that's just me. I don't have that kind of attention span when I'm in a theater. But yeah, I felt like it was a good little journey, and I felt like he really was Danny. Ewan McGregor really took what you would think that character would be after all the shit he's gone through and trying to deal and cope with it. It felt really like him. It felt like the actor that played Danny grew up and did that. So very similar to the way you feel in Cult and Curse of Chucky when Alex Vincent comes back. You're oh yeah, that's Andy, right? And it's okay, but that was Andy. But this felt like this could have been Danny grown up. I don't know if that makes any sense. And really, there are no spoilers in something that has come from a book that people have already read. I have not read it. I will say that I am not a huge fan of Stephen King's writing. I did not like The Shining, the book. I read that many, 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 many moons ago. I was not a fan of that. So I can't really speak to how much it mirrors the book. But I think at this point in time, I think we're all kind of in the Kubrick movie mode. So, definitely a great continuation of that film. So, yeah. I think my kid's giving it about a 7. She's got her headphones on. But yeah, I'm like a 9.5. I really liked it. Dug it. Shine on, motherfuckers.